I am so excited to be here with you today. It is day one of breaking free, embracing true health and wellness. So, before I dive in, just real quick. So, this is going to be, of course, today, tomorrow, and Thursday, same time, 12 noon Central. And you will have access to the replays until Monday night at midnight. So, I know a lot of you are probably going to be catching the replay. So, just keep that in mind. You have until Monday at midnight. So let's dive into this breaking free, embracing true health and wellness. Now, I'm going to ask something of you. I'm going to ask that you just take a deep breath and keep an open mind, because what I'm going to be sharing with you over the next few days is probably something that is going to be a little bit different and that may make you question I don't really know about this, because it is a different way to approach your health journey. Because most of the time we approach a health journey with what do we need to eat, or what do we need to not eat, or what kind of exercise do I need to be doing. And my approach with this health journey is by doing the inner work. And some of you may have heard the expression that God will take your mess and turn it into your message. And that is what I truly feel that He has done with me, is that He has taken my mess and turned it into my message, which is why I am so passionate about helping other women on their health journey, and not just physically, but mentally, because of my own journey that I have been through. And I am at a place now in my life that I truly never thought that I would be. And so to kind of get you to the point of where I'm at now, let me kind of take you back a little bit and where I started from. And basically throughout most of my life, I struggled with depression and anxiety, but that didn't get diagnosed until later on in life. And then, of course, the limiting beliefs that so many of us deal with, the insecurities and the whole I'm not good enough, never feeling like I fit in, different things like that. I'm not smart enough. And when we have those beliefs, that those carry on throughout our adult life. And for me, it was just a real struggle. And I, have been to different doctors over the years, different medications, and always just had this emptiness that I felt inside of me. And along with having all of these, limiting beliefs, negative thoughts, emotions, as I got older, then I started struggling with a constant headache that never went away, migraines multiple times per month, just having no energy. And so it was just all together made life a real struggle. And I was just desperate for change, but didn't know how to go about that. And then when my anxiety got diagnosed, then I was put on medication for that, which caused me to gain 20 pounds at least in a short period of time. And that just kind of, I don't know, it just made things even harder. And I always thought it's if I just lost the weight, then that's going to solve problems. If I make enough money, that is going to solve my problems. All these different things, not realizing that really it was about what went on inside of me. So I had tried many different things to feel better. Like a lot of people, I went, from one diet to the next. If there was a supplement or something on the market that talked about weight loss, I was buying it. Went to my doctor who gave me prescriptions for, my migraines, all these different things. Went through acupuncture, chiropractic care. Some things along the way I found that they did help me a little bit, but never truly to the point where it was like, oh my gosh, this is it. I'm doing so much better. And I was even to the point in my life where I was just like, okay, if I could just feel better, if I could just not feel so empty and broken on the inside, then I'll just even deal with the weight. I'll just be like, okay, fine, I've gained this extra weight. I'll just deal with it. And I got to a point in my life where I was really afraid that I was going to lose it all, because on the outside looking in, things looked pretty good. My husband is wonderful, nice home. I was doing good in my career, but I just had that emptiness inside of me. And I was just like, how do you fix that? And where I never really felt joy, my joy was based off of highs. Like, you go and you buy a new outfit that makes you feel good about yourself. That was a high, but those things like quickly went away. And I would look around and I would see other people in their lives, and I'm like, why can't I be like that? And that's how broken I felt inside. So I don't even know exactly how it all happened, but I just kind of went on a quest. I opened myself up to new ways, and through different research and different things like that, I started learning about doing the inner work. And I would read things like, you change your thoughts, you change your life, all these different things. And I'm like, okay, well, I've tried so many different things on my journey. I pretty much have nothing to lose, so I'll just start like diving into doing this inner work. And at that time, I ran across a coaching, it was kind of like a coaching program, but it was a do it on your own type thing. And something about it just resonated with me. And I was like, okay, well, I'm going to do this. And I will tell you, making that investment in myself, and I think it was probably around $300 at the time, which I could blow that kind of money on different things, but I had never made an investment like that in myself. And it made me sick to my stomach. But I knew that I had to do something. So it was these little steps along the way. And what I have learned now on this journey that I have been on, I don't know, probably I bought that first program over 8 years ago. And what I have learned is that these things helped me. My progress was very slow, but it was continuing to take those steps in the right direction. And what I have found is like doing that internal work is so important. And now over the years, I have learned about another technique to help release, and that is what has made the biggest difference in my life. And I'm going to be sharing more about that technique tomorrow. But you need to become aware first of, how our limiting beliefs, negative thoughts, emotions, how they affect our lives. And it's not so much even just on our health journey, but life overall. So through this journey, and I started doing the inner work, and then I found some nutritional products that finally I was noticing a change, that I was not living off of ibuprofen all the time, and was starting to feel a little bit better, and started, taking even more steps forward to improve my health. And the thing is, it's like I've had people ask me along the way, it's like, okay, so how have you stuck with this? And to be honest, like at first, I was like, I just don't want to go back to where I once was, because I was struggling so much, with the headaches and no energy. And so I was very kind of like, I don't want to go back to where I once was. Well, what I learned along the way, and I kind of started putting the pieces together, is that there were so many other people out there that had made some progress but kept falling back to old habits and patterns. And I was like, okay, well, they don't want to go back to where they once were. No, nobody's sitting there like, oh my gosh, I'm feeling amazing, I'm losing some weight, but I really have a desire to go back to, not feeling so great, not having any energy. So through my journey, I finally started piecing it together that it was really through doing the inner work that had kept me moving forward on this journey. And so what I have continued to learn along the way is how, for lack of a better term, damaging, holding on to our limiting beliefs, our negative thoughts, emotions, how damaging that they can be for us. And now, just because I have been fairly consistent with my journey doesn't mean that it's just been a straight path. It doesn't mean that I haven't gotten off track from time to time. It happens. We all have those moments. I remember even like last Halloween, and my husband, you would have thought we had 1,000 kids that come by our house, which we don't, and had bought all this candy, and I was just, these little candy bars, and I started eating too much of them, and it was like all of a sudden after a couple days I was sluggish, I was feeling pretty crappy, and I was like, oh my gosh, this has to stop. So the thing is, yes, we will get thrown off track a little bit along the way, but when you are doing the inner work, when you are noticing these things, then it's quicker. You notice them quicker, so you can course correct and get back going again. So with doing the inner work and addressing the limiting beliefs and thoughts and things like that, so many people don't think about that with their health journey because it is not talked about enough. And it's not something that you can do a couple of times and be like, okay, we're good, that's it. And the thing is that a lot of our limiting beliefs and our negative thoughts and emotions and all that come from years ago, from even like when we were children. And if you had maybe a parent that said something to you about you shouldn't eat all those sweets, you're eating too much, you're snacking too much, different things like that that were said to us when we were little, we hang on to all of that stuff, and it just kind of like grows with us as we get older. And because of things that we learned or we heard from when we were younger, then it is affecting our everyday lives. And when we have these emotions and suppressed emotions that we have held down for so many years, then it can cause problems with our health. So it's not just holding us back on the health journey that we have now, but it is holding us back in so many different areas of our lives. And we try to, nobody really wants to sit with their emotions and get real with it because it is so much work. So we have a tendency to want to block things out. And so often that is done through watching too much TV, just vegging out, wanting to shut out the world. It's through eating. How many times, you're in the evenings, you're eating because it's out of boredom, or you're stressed, or alcohol. And for me, my big thing was alcohol. I used alcohol for years as a coping mechanism because I was never taught to, how to process emotions, how to release them. Most of us aren't. It's not something that gets talked about enough. So we just hold in these emotions. Think about when you were growing up and you're upset about something and you're being told, like, just forget about it. Don't be so upset about it. Don't worry about it. And then what do? You hold on to these emotions and you suppress them. So when we are suppressing all these emotions, it's also causing problems with our health. It can cause anxiety, depression, digestive issues, migraines, insomnia. The list can go on because we are holding on to all these emotions. And the thing is that they actually are so deep inside of us. They are they're at a cellular level and in our DNA. And unless we learn how to process and release, they are going to stay there and they are going to continue to affect our lives. This is why it is so important to learn how to address them, how to address this, how to release them. Because when we don't, it's just going to be on and on and ongoing. And I read this statistic that 90% of all physical problems have psychological roots. So when we have all of these suppressed emotions, as I already mentioned, some of the things, headaches, it can even lead to cancer and arthritis, all because of these suppressed emotions that we have within us. And so people have asked, people wondered, it's like, okay, so by doing this work and then it can help transform your life, well, why is it that more people aren't doing it? Well, because most people don't want to dig into their emotions and their limiting beliefs and all of that, or they just don't know how to do it. And we have a tendency that we just want to push things aside. And when it comes to our health journey, as with a lot of things in life, we want something quick. We want it now. So we want to be able to go to the gym and bust our butts for a week and drop 10 pounds, or we want to start a diet and have these immediate results. Well, here's the thing, is like, so because of not dealing with our limiting beliefs, our emotions and all of that, when we are not dealing with that, we have a tendency to fall back to our old habits and patterns. And that's why so many women get on this like diet roller coaster of, like, okay, this is it. I am going all in on something. I'm going all in with my exercise and eating right. You start and then you stop, and then you go back to your old habits and patterns. And what happens is that, I know how exciting it is when you just finally like, yes, I am going to do this. I'm going to make some changes in my life. And then you end up falling off track, going back to old habits and patterns. And then you beat yourself up and it's like, why? Why does this not work for me? I just don't have the motivation. And I am telling you that motivation has nothing to do with it. I have had so many women tell me over the years, it's like, Rachael, I just wish I had your motivation. Motivation don't have crap to do with it. Yes, you may get a little motivated to get started, but that is not what is going to see you through. It is really about doing the inner work. Because again, I can't stress this enough. When you're not doing the inner work, you're going to fall back to old habits and patterns. And our brain is designed to keep us safe. So as we move forward to make improved changes in our lives, our brain, once we get to a certain point, our brain, it's like alarm bells go off. And it's like, no, 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 danger, danger, danger. And it wants to pull us back into an area where we feel safe and comfortable. Now, here's the thing. That space, you may not be happy with it. Maybe you are just so fed up with, your health, your weight, whatever it might be. However, it's a place that is comfortable. It is a place that is familiar. So as we try to move forward, our brain is pulling us back to where, even though we're not happy with that space, it is comfortable. So you need to do the inner work, and you need to form this new identity of the person that you want to be. But it is so difficult to do that without doing the inner work, because you are going to keep being pulled back to where you once were. And that's why it is so frustrating for so many women that they try, they really do. And I get it, because I have been there. You really, really, really want changes in your life, and you're trying, and you try this diet or that system or this product, and then you keep falling back. And then it's like, you know what? It's just not meant for me. It is meant for you. But we have got to do the inner work. And I know you're like, how many times can you say that? Because I'm going to keep saying it over and over and over, because it is what has helped me transform my life, and which is why God has put this inside of me to be able to help other women. Because you can have the best products, the best system, whatever it might be, the best trainer, but if you are not doing that inner work and addressing your limiting beliefs, your negative thoughts, then you are going to keep going back to where you once were. And that is why this work is so very important. And that's why today I dedicated it to understanding that so much is based on our limiting beliefs, our negative thoughts, and our emotions, because our thoughts and our feelings drive our actions, which then, turns into our results. So if you've got these negative thoughts and feelings and limiting beliefs, then that is guiding your actions. And then that's turning into your results. So if you are not happy with where you're at right now with your results, it has to do with your thoughts, your feelings, and emotions. Once we become the masters of controlling our thoughts and our emotions, then that can truly transform our lives. And the thing is, when we are just holding stuff in, and I did this for so long, you just hold everything within, and then what happens is that you get triggered by something so little. It may be something that somebody says, something that one of your kids did, that really, it's not that big of a deal, but you completely lose it. Okay? Have you been there? Please tell me, please be honest that, okay, yes, I have been there. That is because you have all of these suppressed emotions inside of you, and you keep building and building and building. And then that one little thing, it's like that icing on the cake that makes you completely explode. So when we start to learn to become aware and address our emotions, our thoughts, our negative thoughts, our limiting beliefs, and work on releasing those, and then we pour in the good, the positive, that is when true transformation takes place, because we have to get stuff out before we can pour in the good. Because this is the way I explain it to like women on getting started on their health journey, that it's like, okay, I'm gonna start eating right, I'm gonna eat more fruits and vegetables and all this stuff, which is fine. However, you have years of not making healthy choices that is stored up inside of you, along with just toxins from everyday life. So when you're trying to pour in that good, it's just like sitting on top of, the junk. And yes, you may get some results, but when we start to remove that junk, and then all that good nutrition can truly get inside of you, that is when change takes place. And it is the same thing with our limiting beliefs and doing that inner work. We've got to kind of like flush out all the gunk and the negative thoughts and emotions inside of us before we start really pouring in that good. And that is why when I started like with the personal development years ago, and I was in the morning, I would do my gratitude list and I would say positive affirmations. And yes, those are good things and I do recommend them. But my progress was so slow because I still had all of these limiting beliefs and negative thoughts inside of me. So I was getting up in the morning and I'm saying all these positive affirmations and this gratitude, but I didn't know how to, it wasn't sticking, it wasn't lasting, and I didn't know how to incorporate that throughout my day. So everything that I was doing that morning, then I was going out into the world. We all know how crazy that can be. I was going out and everything that I was saying and that I was doing was completely opposite of what I spent the morning doing. So it was like canceling all of that out. But then as I learned the process of learning how to process and start to release the emotions, the negative thoughts, and become more aware, then pouring in the good, it's a completely different ball game. So yes, now, I still do my gratitude. I still have my positive affirmations that I do every single day, but it is completely different. And this is why I just feel it on my heart, why God put this inside of me to be able to help other women, so that way you can have quicker results than what I did. And I spent many, many years doing the work that was helping me, but the results were slow, but I was still making progress. But now, because of what I have learned and over the last few years have incorporated in my life, that has truly helped me transform even more, is why I want to help you. And this is not just to where your health journey is going to get better. This is to where it is going to affect other areas of your life. And how often do we think, like, if you have somebody that completely just drives you insane, or your husband is annoying, whatever it might be, and you're like, oh my gosh, I just wish they would change. I wish they would do things differently. Well, we can't change other people, but we can change us, and we can change how we respond to things, because as you start doing this work, you will find that things that used to upset you before, that you're like, I noticed that that didn't really bother me as much. And that's when you're like, oh my gosh, there is actually something to this. And when you have things that upset you, the technique that I'm going to teach you tomorrow, when you put it into place, you're going to be able to address those things like pretty much immediately, and get them to move through your body and out and deal with it. And for instance, and I swear I think things happen just to like allow me to help you even more. It's like earlier this morning, I had something happen that it really bothered me and really upset me. And okay, let's just be honest, pissed me off a little bit. But I was able to use the technique I processed it and I released it. And doing that, I felt so much better, because otherwise I would have just held on to that anger, and it would have just kept, bubbling and bubbling and bubbling. And then, 5 days from now, somebody does something so little and I explode, but it's not something that they did, but it's something that I hadn't addressed. So we need to become aware of our thoughts that are going through our head, the words that are coming out of our mouth, how we are actually feeling our emotions. And when we start doing that, that is when true change takes place. And like I said, when we are suppressing all these emotions, and that emotions that are not just currently happening now, but those that we have held on to for years and years and years, then it is affecting our health in so many different ways, not just holding us, keeping us on this like diet roller coaster and jumping from one thing to another, but as I mentioned earlier, it can cause heart disease, depression, anxiety, gut issues, all of these things where so many people are going to the doctor. And I have nothing against prescription medication when needed, but I do want to say that there's other things that we can also be doing that can help on our health journey. And so when we are having these issues with anxiety, depression, gut issues, headaches, all these different things, and we're going to the doctor, they're giving us a prescription that is not getting to the root cause, that it's just kind of like masking everything. So when we start doing the inner work, then we can find that some of the issues that we were having, they actually get better. And then by doing this inner work, when you find nutritional products, a system, whatever it is that is actually helping you and helping you to lose weight and feel better, then it's something that you are going to actually stick with, because you're doing that inner work and you're doing it and it's making a difference. So tomorrow I am going to be going into detail about how to start that process of doing the release. But I just, like I said, today needed to, get it through to you the best that I can of how damaging our suppressed emotions can how damaging they are to us, not just in holding us back from doing different things, but truly affecting our health. Because if we don't understand how important it is to become aware and learn to release, then everything else that I share with you is not really going to make a difference. We need to understand how these things are affecting us. So, like I said, tomorrow I'm going to be sharing with you the process to help you start doing the release. And then on the third day, I'm going to share with you how incorporating God's word into all of this helped me take things to even a higher level. So I am excited to share that with you. I'm a little bit nervous about doing that because this is going to be the first time that I'm going to be I've talked about doing the inner work before. I've shared about doing this process before, but never before have I brought in and shared about the impact God's word can have and combining that together. But I truly feel like that God has brought me on my journey for a reason, so that way I can help more women and more women break free and truly embrace their health journey, because that's what this is all about. Because when we start to embrace our health journey, then it just transforms our lives. And as I said in the beginning, I never thought that I would be at this place in my life. And I am still a work in progress. I do this work every single day. But I never thought that in like another week, I'm going to be 51 and my physical health and my mental health is the best that it's ever been. And it's all because of doing this work. So this is why I am just so passionate about this and being able to share it with all of you. And so tune in tomorrow. Same time, 12 noon Central, and I will be sharing with you more about the process of releasing. But between now and then, I have a little homework assignment for you. I want you to start becoming aware, because we cannot make changes in our lives until we become aware. So just don't stress yourself out about it, but just start paying attention to the thoughts in your head, the words that you speak, any limiting beliefs that you find that are coming up. Pay attention to things that trigger you, because those things that trigger you are like the key to unlocking so much, because those are things that you know that you are going to need to work on. So when something like sets you off, upsets you, gets you fired up, make a note of it, because like I said, those things are key in helping you on your journey. So I am so excited to be on this journey with you and to share this space with you over the next few days. And I pray that what I share with you really does help you on your journey and can help you just look at your health journey in a new way, because it's not just about the foods we eat, the products we take, the exercise that we do, but it is really about going within and doing that work. So it's a completely different way to look at your health journey. And is it something that is going to be comfortable? No, but I will tell you that it is so worth it. So thank you so much for being here with me, and I will see you tomorrow.